Everyone feel good, yeah? Tremendous. Right. I was speaking to two of you during the break. Especially Naru, because when the first thing you did was go outside and light up a cigarette, I thought, fucking marvellous. But apparently that's due to the fact you weren't focusing on that then, so that's alright. We may have to, you're around tonight, aren't you? Yeah, we might have to do the smoking thing tonight. But we shall see. Okay, is there anyone else in the room? Because what I ideally want to do, just taking us up to lunchtime, is demonstrate, as in actually do, but if I'm going to demonstrate, I may as well do it, there's going to be of some benefit to people in the room. Different approaches that I have used or do use in terms of therapy, so that then after lunch, rather than doing it and getting it all confused, after lunch I can break down the bits of what's been done, why it's been done, and how those bits separately can be took out of this context and used in that context, whether it's stress management, or in that context if it's selling stuff, or in that context if it's speech, whatever it is, because essentially communication, which is all hypnosis, NLP, is a form of communication, and using it in a certain manner to get certain results. Communication is communication, simple as. It's just what context do you use it in, what is it you want to achieve. So, and the beauty of the stuff that I want to do before lunch is that it is all what they call content-free, in so much as you don't actually have to know what your client's problem is. So if you've got a client that wants help, wants change, but feels uncomfortable about talking about what the issue is, you can still help them without actually having to know what the problem is, in the same sort of manner as we did with Simon earlier. We didn't need to know what that issue used to be. When you're doing CMT, which is essentially what we just did before the break, yes, you can do it non-specific like that, but it is obviously far more, certainly in a group basis, far better if you know everyone's got the same, used to have the same issue, smoking or whatever, because then you can actually put the extra bit in of specific, direct suggestions. But with smoking, that might be, like, you no longer need, want, crave or desire for cigarettes or tobacco in any way, shape or form. Every time you see the government health warning on a cigarette packet, it now reads, smoke, choke, death and disease. It now reads, smoke, choke, death and disease. Whatever suggestions. The key with suggestions, which is one thing I forgot to mention yesterday when we were mentioning stage stuff, and that it does apply to basically suggestion full stop, is that the most powerful, effective suggestions, whether that's on stage, in therapy, whether that's in a sales scenario even, the most effective ones are the ones where you're leaving, number one, the conclusion of what you mean to the person you're saying it to, but number two, so that whatever conclusion they come to is the one that's right for them in therapy or in sales, only really gives them an option of saying yes. Number three is short, sweet and simple. So that as few words as possible conjure up as many mental images as possible. So rather than spending sentences and sentences of some conventional hypnotherapy scripts that might go on saying, and just imagine yourself inhaling on a cigarette now and notice how bad that feels in your chest. The first time you had a cigarette, remember that, how bad it felt, and how hard and how difficult it was before you had the next one and you felt that sickness inside. And they could go on for bloody sentences and sentences. A simple phrase like, every time you see the government health warning on a cigarette packet or a billboard, it now reads to your subconscious mind, smoke, choke, death, disease. Smoke, choke, death, disease, 4 words. It conjures up whatever the person wants it to conjure up, which as long as they're there genuinely, that's the key thing, genuinely with the intent to quit, then they will obviously conjure up images that are negative enough or painful enough to be a motivation to push them forward to become the person that they came there with the intention of being. Okay. Voice tone. We'll talk about voice tone and anchoring and all the NLP shit after lunch.
I just have this idea. Is there any way of taking a person who's not as suggestible and making them more suggestible?
Everyone's suggestible. It's just a question of how suggestible are they.
Yeah, but like someone who's really sort of resistant towards it. There's a friend of mine who wants to stop smoking, but he's really sort of resistant towards any. I mean, every time I try and do any sort of hypnotherapy, he's just like, I'm not sure if he follows along or not, but is there any way of making him more suggestible to it? Or?
Again, there is only one type of person. All of us, like it or lump it, are suggestible. It depends in what manner we're suggestible. Some people are suggestible through visual imagery. As they say in NLP, we all have different senses. The VACOC, visual, auditory, kinesthetic, olfactory, and... Thank you. I always forget that one. Basically, rearrange it because we got that in the wrong order. We either smell, taste, feel, see or hear things. What I suspect, to be honest, is it's more a case of inertia. I personally would not ever treat somebody when they know that you've only just sort of started doing something. Because that is just a negative. It's a negative suggestion in itself, which therefore means the person is suggestible. It's just the suggestion they're reacting to is the negative one of you not having done it for that long. Right, is there anyone in the room then who, and again this will be content free, so there's no need to reveal any of your deep dark hidden secrets, emotional traumas or anything like that on camera or to the room, it'll just be inside here, who's got, shall we say, let's say, I don't know, we'll start, a phobia of...
MRI.
Right, okay. The only reason I asked that is because, right, what is MRI?
MRI machine. They put my head into a tube and it's right here and I get claustrophobic.
Right.
And I have it done twice a year, so it's a problem.
You actually, all right, okay. So it's something you're going to encounter again. Right, okay. Would you like to come forward, Antonio?
I've had it done in May, so...
Take a seat. That's wonderful. Right. Okay. So, I know this is going to be a little bit painful. In so much as it's not exactly, I should imagine, something you really want to talk about too much. But if you were to think about it right now, that experience as it's been in the past, when is it from the moment you get there? Is it from beforehand? Is it just before you're going in the machine? What?
I just haven't been understood. They put me in the machine. They put me in, and then they put my head in the cradle. That's okay.
Right.
And then they put this sort of cage here, and I just can't do it. At that point, I just freak out and start screaming and can't cry. I just have to get out. And the only way they've been able to do it is in my bed they had an open machine, which meant the machine was up here. I put my head in the cradle, that's all right. But then I could lie there, open my eyes, look around, there's no problem. But they don't have such a machine in Belgium. So they said the only way they're going to be able to do it in Belgium is by putting me under. I had to go to hospital overnight and have it done there twice a year, and I don't want to do that. So I want to be able to go into this machine, and you know, maybe it's like I could pretend I have a mask over my eyes and I'm relaxing, like you might do in a spa or in a nice bubble bath or something. But at the moment it just freaks me out. I just can't stay in the machine. I just
Feel like
have a panic attack.
Talking about it right now, how does it feel?
It's shaking.
Whereabouts? Any particular place, or is it just sort of all over? So sort of around this area.
And I have asthma as well, so it even affects my breathing.
Okay. If you knew the answer, is it the machine, Is it the idea of having to be put under anaesthetic? Is it?
It's the fact that I can't see. When I first had it done in England, they had the same setup, but they had mirrors here, so I could see into the control room, so I could see them, and I could do that. And it's not a case of playing nice, relaxing music, because the MRI machine is so noisy. Clang, 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 and then there's a different noise, and then it sounds like a pneumatic drill, and it goes on for 20 minutes, about twice 20 minutes.
I mean, I have a rough idea what these machines do, but to be honest, you're obviously more of an expert than me. So, bearing that in mind, give us an idea. I know you go through, okay. I guess the point for me is for them to go, oh, clear. Is that right? So, I mean, the end result of it is positive, yeah?
The end result is no brain tumours,
yeah. Yeah, so that's really good. Yeah. So I can see why you'd want to be able to do that, definitely, because it's something that you want to hear, something that you want to have happen, because then you know it's all gone. Tremendous. Okay, this is going to seem a little bit weird, but what I'd like you to do is just close your eyes, Tony. That's brilliant. And I hate to do this to you again, but with your permission, I'd like you to sort of imagine how it feels to you right now, and has done before in the past. The thought, idea, or experience of having to do that. Okay. And if you do, just please, if you can, become aware of where those sensations, feelings start. Okay. Not just the over that area you pointed out before, but sort of where did they start? Become aware of what sort of direction they're moving.
From here, going up my throat.
Okay. And then is it sort of going back the same direction, or is it going in a circle? Is it
It's just restricting my brain. It's like taking my box throat.
okay. Is that happening fast or slow? Okay. We won't stay there too much longer, but
Making me cry.
you don't like that, do you? That's not good.
My face is going red all around here. Just making me panic.
Okay, just open your eyes. It's alright. Just take a few breaths. Just let out all that tension. It's okay. Oh, that feels stress, it feels bad. But, and this is the good thing, you don't have to feel like that anymore. Okay? You don't have to. It's going to sound really kooky, but I'd like you to close your eyes. That's gone. That's gone. Okay? And you should close your eyes there. In a few moments, I am actually going to ask you to think of that area that you visualised before. And I am going to ask you to actually think of things the way they would have been in the past. But before we do, what I'd like you to do, Antonio, in a way that feels right for you, is to imagine, because you've got total control of your mind and your body, you just didn't realise until now, you can make those changes instantly. So what I'd like you to do is just imagine that somewhere in your mind's eye you've got a control panel with different switches on. Just take a few moments to find the switch that for you indicates the direction of that feeling you once had in the past. Okay? The switch that, you know, I don't know which direction it's pointing in at the minute, but it's obviously the one that's wrong for you. So what I'd like you to do is flick that switch. take control, just flick that switch and change the direction. That's brilliant. And I'd like you to, again, you know, in a way that feels right for you, just sort of fix that switch in place so nobody can ever come along and flick it back. So it's permanently, positively locked, glued, welded, cemented in that position that feels good. Okay, notice how much better that starts to feel. Yeah, just allow that to flood your body in a positive way, from the tips of your toes to the tips of your fingers. The direction moving forward that's right for you. Now I want you to look, if you can, again at this control panel. There should be a switch somewhere for the speed that this used to travel in the past, okay? Now, it was obviously wrong when it was fast, so whether it's a switch or a dial, whatever's right for you, I want you to turn down the speed to a level that does feel right for you. Some people switch it off completely. And others just slow it down to a level that feels really good. You there? That's fantastic. And I don't know how, but you know the best way to fix that in place so it stays at that speed from this moment forward. Positive. That's good. And this is going to sound really weird, but good weird. It feels good. Somewhere on that control panel, you're going to find like a sort of control switch for colour. I don't know if you know right now how to make those changes permanent. But make them permanent, all the same you will, because your subconscious will help you. So just take a few moments to actually change the colour of that energy emotion as it once was to that which feels right. Positive, good, calm, relaxed, secure and safe for you. And lock that in place. Fantastic. Okay, just open your eyes a moment. That's brilliant. Take a few nice deep breaths. That feels a lot better than it did before, yeah? Good. Right, this is the bit where you can punch me afterwards. I joke, I jest. What I'd like you to do, Antonia, one final time, just close your eyes. Okay. And what I want you to focus on mainly in your mind is the direction that energy and emotion is now travelling, the correct way for you. And take a closer look at the fact it is the correct colour for you, and it's doing everything in a way that's right for you. And I'd want you just to become aware that because that's right for you, it also serves as a sign and a signal. Without any conscious effort, just like, you know it's happening the right way. So you also know within yourself, in all those areas that once used to bother you, that all the energy is going the right direction. It's the right colour. It's just passing through. Almost like passing through this really positive, feel-good right now tunnel. Or strangely enough, passing through right now this feel-good machine. See the colour getting brighter. speed, the emotion, the intensity just remaining permanently at the level that helps you to feel calm and relaxed and confident. And on the count of 3, I'd like you won't know how you know, but you'll just know, and you'll have that feeling, that sense inside. Where within yourself, right now, you feel confident? Where within yourself, right now, you feel in control, calm, safe and secure? As you realise those colours, those directions, all those things that once were a problem are now right for you. Okay? May seem a bit daft, but 1, 2, 3, just touch whichever area is there. That's fantastic. Okay, well remember that point for a few moments' time. Brilliant. And just open your eyes. Feel good. Tremendous. Okay, one final thing. I'd like you to just close your eyes one final time. And as you do, just let your mind sort of wander free, and as you do that, I'd like you to just take a few moments for yourself to think of a time in your life when you felt on top of the world. Made you feel calm, relaxed, confident, safe and secure. Turn that image up really bright. Turn the volume up really bright. Bring it in close. It's almost 3D. It's like you're there. You can feel it. It's flooding your body in a real good way. And when you feel that's at its most positive, most in control, right then, right now, just take whichever hand feels right for you and touch that point that you touched before. Allow all those really good feelings to flood in there right now. Notice how much better that feels inside. Yeah, so every time you touch that point right there, any time you think about things the way they once were, you just get all those feelings flooding your body from the tips of your toes. In fact, if you try to think about things the way they were in the past, you wouldn't be able to, because your mind instantly starts thinking about all these feel-good things. Your mind instantly now just thinks of how bright, how wonderful, how joyful, how calm, relaxed, safe and secure you've become. And just remove your hand. That's wonderful, fantastic. And open your eyes. I'd like to ask you a great favour now. I'm going to ask you to do something that, you know, about 5 minutes ago was a bit upsetting. Okay? Just so that we can notice how much of a difference you genuinely feel. Is that okay? You don't have to, is that okay? In that case, just close your eyes down, but we're going to do it a little bit different than before, so don't start doing it yet. Okay? This time, when you imagine yourself, I want you to see it as though you're sat in a cinema, and you're watching this on a screen. So it's not going to bother you, worry you, or concern you as it once did. You're watching yourself on this cinema screen, safe in the knowledge that the moment this horror film, as it once was, that would have been playing, gets to any point that used to make you feel negative, nervous, worried, scared, or concerned, that all you need to do is take your hand and touch that point that you touched before, and instantly you know you've got like this shield of protection. Feel calm, safe, secure on top of the door, back in that place that feels really good. And right now the movie's beginning to play, and you can see yourself reattach in a positive way. It's not like you're feeling it, you're seeing it, and you're seeing yourself, all the things they do beforehand, and then getting into the machine, going through the machine. But here's the odd thing, you're just watching it like a movie. And, you know, just sort of try to feel the way you used to feel, but you can't really, because obviously you're watching something that's not real. It's no longer as it once was, it's gone. Oh, there's just that slight little tiny memory, so to speak, of how it could have been, that anticipation. Oops, the movie stopped. I want you to realise, hang on, what's going on here? It's almost as if it's starting to run backwards. It's running backwards. The film's going backwards, so you're running backwards in your mind's eye. And all the sounds, it's gone all like gobbledygook. And the things that people were saying before, there's like the weird, the strange, the funny. The picture's gone all blurred. It's like almost as though the faces are contorted and there's clowns' noses appearing and big ears. And this isn't a horror film anymore. It's fucking hilarious. He's running backwards. Film's ended. Bloody hell. Gone. Stuck in your hands. Okay. We're going to do one final thing. I want you to close your eyes. I want you to try and think about things in the way you used to think about in the past. I want you to just sort of prove to yourself, try to get that intensity the way it once used to be. Unfortunately, obviously, it's moving in a different direction, it's a different colour. It's just not as it was anymore. It's like a few moments to do that. Yeah, that's fantastic. Just open your eyes. On a scale of 0 to 10, with 0 being no problem, 10 being sort of as it pretty much was before, how much lower down now, honestly, would you say it feels compared to what it was before? About a 2. Okay. For the purposes of today's demonstration, I'm going to just leave it there in a minute. But tonight in the bar, if you so desire, I'll take you down to a 0. Although, what I would suggest is think about that before this evening, because just for now, just close your eyes. It's too acceptable. Does that feel?
Yeah, it's acceptable in as much as I used to be afraid of injections and needles. And nobody likes needles, let's face it.
No.
And I've had to have so many over the last few years that I still don't like them, but I can bear them and it's not a problem. I can bear pain much more than I could.
So it's not a problem?
No, it's acceptable. It's something I can.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, just close your eyes one more time. At the moment it's at a 2, okay, so that's fantastic. We've gone from like 10 or perhaps above down to a 2, that's brilliant. I'd just like to take a nice deep breath in. And out. In. And out. That's fantastic. And be aware that you're totally in control at all times. So in your own time and in your own way that feels right for you. I'd like to imagine, and it's up to you whether you use your left hand or your right hand, I'd like you to imagine that all those those 2 out of 10 bits of concern, worry, apprehension that are stored within you at the moment are starting to move from wherever they are now up your body. But it doesn't bother you, worry or concern you. And they're going to make their way to the arm that you're thinking of. Down your arm, from your shoulder to your elbow, from your elbow to your wrist, down to your hand. And as you realise and feel within yourself that all those things that used to bother you, worry you and concern you in the past are getting to the point where they're in your hand, I'd like you just to indicate by starting to literally lift up into the air the hand that's relevant. Okay, and as more of that starts to move down, just allow yourself to let your hand go higher up into the air. Okay, really let it all flood out now, so your hand goes higher. And if your hand goes higher, it's a sign and a signal that it's all moving out, leaving, going right now. As it really moves down your hand, your hand going higher up into the air. It's a sign and a signal to your subconscious mind that this is leaving permanently in a positive way that's right for you. Let more out now. Let the hand rise up higher into the air, almost like helium balloons taking it up. It's a sign and a signal to your subconscious mind that everything's leaving permanently, positively, safely, calmly and securely. Going up higher, higher and higher. That's wonderful. Keeping your eyes closed. In a few moments' time, I'm going to take hold of your right hand. Just lift your hand higher in the air, and as I do instantly, all those things shoot up your arm into your hand, shoot up into your hand, shoot up into your hand. They're all locked there now, from your wrist to your fingertips. Locked there now. Every nerve, fibre, tissue and muscle from your shoulders to your elbows to your wrist. Locked fast, tight, stiff, rigid. Just locked fast, tight there for the moment as a sign and a signal that everything's there. Everything is there right now. Everything that you've got to get rid of, that you feel the need to say goodbye to right now, there. I'm realising as I take my hand away, locked fast, welded, locked. Everything's there. Realising that in a few seconds' time, when I click my fingers like that, the very moment I click my fingers like that, instantly the power will be turned back onto your right arm. And you'll find that instantly it becomes limp, loose, relaxed, heavy, tight, and drops down into your lap. And that very moment it drops down into your lap, the very moment it touches your lap, it's a sign and a signal that all those things that are now stored above your wrist, up your hand, to your fingertips, we're just going to shoot out and go completely, permanently gone. Not yet, if you understand. That's wonderful, Antonia. Take a nice deep breath in. 1, 2, feels so good inside and on. 3. Okay, I'm going to count from 1 to 3. On the count of 3, you'll open your eyes. And when you do, I want you just to realise how much better you feel right now and how much more in control. 1, lighter and brighter. 2, everything that you've suggested to yourself remaining with you permanently, positively, in a calm, secure, safe manner that feels right for you. And on 3, just take a few moments, and when it feels right, you get the sense now is the time. Just open your eyes. Feel good? Tremendous. If you had to think about it now on a scale of 0 to 10, with 10 being the top, 0 we were at 10, it went down to 2.
I imagine myself lying in a machine. Instead of seeing red anger, I just see green in my garden.
Brilliant. And that helps you feel good, yeah?
Yeah, and then I think about breathing instead of feeling that.
Yeah? So how good do you feel when you're out in your garden?
Yeah, good.
Yeah? Relaxed and safe?
Feel the sun.
Yeah? That's brilliant. Thank you for volunteering, Antonia. Give her a round of applause. Okay. Anyone, just as a matter of interest, I know I didn't ask this yesterday, has anyone in here done, I hate to use the word, NLP training? Yeah? No, okay. Right. Anyone done hypnosis training? Right, you've done NLP training then, because it was all stolen from hypnosis anyway. Actually, the irony of it is, a hell of a lot of it was all stolen from, certainly in NLP terms, a large amount of it was stolen from sales training, oddly enough. And the irony of it, that's what I've said to people before, if you want to learn NLP, you're better off reading books on sales training than you are reading the expensive books on NLP, because all it is about pushing people's emotional buttons. The slight difference is obviously if you were selling somebody something, the chances are you wouldn't be asking them to close their eyes all the time and keep opening them. That might be a bit of a what's going on. But we'll get more into the realms of those things this afternoon. This is just more a point of showing you different flexible ways. Now I just need to make a note to myself. The first thing we did this morning was Simon's, I'm just going to put emotion. The second thing we did was CMC group. The third thing we just did was Antonia's sphere, which was direction, etc. That was shape 3D, direction, etc. and speed. And also dissociations. Otherwise I'll forget what I need to tell you. Okay, number 4. Right. How on the edge do I feel? Has anyone got something they can think about now that happened when you may not be totally consciously aware of when it happened? You might not have an exact age or an exact recollection of where you were or anything like that, but something that sort of happened when you were a lot younger, that if you were to think about it now is something that sort of still has some sort of negative effect in terms of your life. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, I think it must have happened when I was a lot younger.
You think?
I think it must. I can't pinpoint
Okay.
what it is, where it comes
All
from.
right. Is this something you'd be prepared to talk about, or is it something you prefer to keep content free?
No, it's true. I can talk about it.
Okay. If you'd like to come and take a seat, Marie. Okay. Note to self. This is. Okay. Have you ever been hypnotised before?
I don't think so, no.
You don't think so? So that implies that you've sort of tried before.
Yes.
What makes you think you weren't?
That I weren't under.
Yeah.
I felt very relaxed, but I felt I was still in control of my movement. If I wanted to change it, I could.
Right, okay. Well, the thing is, you are always in control. You're in control of how much you want to relax. You're in control of how much you want to be in control or aware of what's going on. Sometimes, though, it's not necessary to relax that much. And hopefully, with this, that may be possible. I mean, I'm guessing that if you were to think about this particular way this issue affects you in your life, it's not exactly something you choose to do. Okay. But if you could you play just for now to help you? Could you sort of just take a few moments to think about what it is, and if it's okay with you, give me a little bit of a background and why you think perhaps it could be a long time ago, given that you obviously don't have a firm recollection of where, when, or what.
Well, it seems like I have a control problem, which is part of my behavior. I tend to double check everything, especially what my partner does or people around me, to see if it's sort of properly done.
Yeah.
Or maybe not just properly done, what's going on. And it occurred, well, it hit me recently that this has been going on for a long time. I'm doing some therapy now because what happened during last year, I tended the last couple of years to become more and more unhappy. And my husband and I agreed on, he started on the Minnesota model for alcohol abuse.
Okay.
And instead of feeling peaceful or, now this has been dealt with, it sort of felt like a big snowball that had been rolling, I had pushed upwards, was instead of rolling backwards on me. So he came out after 6-7 weeks, starting a new life, alcohol-free and aware. Whereas then my flag went down, completely fell to the ground, and I sort of entered a light depression state. My doctor says he's got the pills ready, but he thinks we should talk it out. Maybe I'm just very, very sad. And this also comes out with the old behavior. I still continue with that, with double checking. Is he drinking? Is he not? What about the future? Can I trust? Not just him, and I've apparently always been like that, controlling and double checking.
When you say always, what specifically do you mean? Do you mean
as far as I can recall.
As far as you personally can
Yes.
recall?
Although I can also recall as a very little girl, I don't think I was like that.
Mm-hmm.
So at some point between that time and now, I must have experienced some things that made me a double checking person.
Okay. Well, with your permission, what I'd like us to try to do to help you is, it's going to sound a bit weird, but don't worry about that. We're going to play an imagination exercise. You're going to make things up, okay? Now, the best way of making things up is not to think about them too long. It's the first thing that comes into your head, what feels exactly right at that moment, just say it, okay? However, even if it sounds really ridiculous, and I mean, if I turned around and said, I don't know, what are you wearing? And suddenly the first thing that jumped in your head was to say, steak and chips. Doesn't matter. Say the first thing that comes into your head. That would be fantastic. And I don't know, do you find it easy to imagine when you've got your eyes closed?
Sometimes.
Okay, well let's try this with your eyes closed, Marie. That's tremendous. Okay. I'm just going to ask you a couple of questions. Just the first thing that comes into your head, what feels right for you, that will be fantastic. Now when I say what feels right for you, I know that some of the answers along the way may be just that little bit uncomfortable, but we don't need to dwell on them. So,
Shall I say?
what, yeah?
A hedge.
A hedge, okay. No, that's fine. If you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be?
In a warm place, and it has trees and beach, and it feels primitive.
Mm-hmm.
It feels slow. Like sort of like a blue lagoon kind of place.
Uh-huh.
On an island.
If you had to pick a number from 0 to 10, what number would it be?
7.
7, okay. So you're 7 years of age. Was this, I don't know if it's a hedge or a warm place, but you're 7 years of age in your mind, what would you be feeling right now?
Green.
You'd be feeling green. What would feeling green mean to you? Would that be happy? Would that be sad? Would that be tense? Would that be upset?
Safe.
Safe. Okay. That's good.
Or wrapped.
Mm-hmm. Right. And if you knew the answer, as daft as this sounds, if you knew the answer, would you think that it would have been before being 7 or just after being 7 that it felt as though that protection was being removed?
I couldn't say. It feels more yellow to the right.
Okay, well that's good. Fantastic. Bring back that image of the hedge. Yeah, that's safe, isn't it? Green, safe.
It's more green than the other green. It's tall, it's high.
If you had to think about the worst, most horrible, distressing, you know, really negative thing that you can recall that's ever occurred in your life, and if it's something really bad, don't worry, just say that you've got something and you can keep it to yourself as long as you've got it inside your own mind, that's fine. Would you be able to get something now?
No.
No? Okay. As that image fades away, I want you to imagine in your mind's eye that you're walking into a library. And there's all these different books. There's big ones, small ones, thin ones, thick ones. There's ones that are paperback, ones that are hardback, ones that are encased in leather and gold spines. There's ones that are colourful and pictures. There's ones that are just words within. There's so many different books in there. And I'd like you to imagine in your mind's eye, walking towards this bookcase, okay, and just take a few moments to kind of have a look around and see which direction you're drawn to. Perhaps that's to the left, perhaps it's to the right, up, down, centre, it doesn't matter, wherever's right for you. And as you start to settle with your eyes on a particular area, become aware of the different books that you can see. Because on the count of 3, when I click my fingers like this, and I click my fingers like that, I want you to just reach forward in your mind's eye and pull out one of the books. I don't need to know what it's called, but what I would like you to do is to tell me whether it's big or small, whether it's thick or thin, you know, what type of book it is. 1, 2, 3, just reach and take one. What sort of book is it?
It has a paper cover.
Yeah, fantastic.
It's thin.
Yeah.
It's bluish. It looks like it's worn out. It has black back. That sort of thing. It looks like something you get in school to make your mathematic lesson in.
On the count of 3, when I click my fingers like that, I'd like you to imagine just randomly opening that book up and anywhere, literally anywhere, and just tell me what sort of page number you're on. 1, 2, 3. Just open the book.
17.
Okay. 17. Now you don't know, most likely, and I don't know what that means to your subconscious mind. Or perhaps you do. If you do, just keep that to yourself for now. 2. On the count of 3, when I click my fingers like that, this time, I want you to look down at the page. I want you to see what you see. And as you do, when I click my fingers, I want you to notice something rather strange, but it's strange in a way that's good for you. Okay? I want you to notice that this is something that happened to you when you were younger. I don't know when you were younger, because I don't know, you know, how many words there are in this book or how many pictures, and how far you've gone on when you got to page 17. But your subconscious will know and tell you. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Now, first thing that comes to mind.
A boat.
A boat. Okay. That's fine.
Sort of like a sailboat. Looks very fancy. It's sort of like a small yacht, but it's not a yacht. It looks very strange. It's blue.
That feel good?
It feels nice.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel, I'm not afraid of it, but it doesn't feel like, yeah.
Okay. I
like on the count of 3 when I click my fingers this time to put that particular book back on the bookshelf. Okay. And instantly just sort of reach somewhere else on the bookshelf and grab another book. It may be bigger, it may be smaller, it doesn't matter, but just grab a different book entirely. 1, 2, 3, right now. Okay, is it bigger or smaller?
It's smaller in size but thicker. It's more like a novel.
Okay.
It looks like a novel book. It has a thick book cover. It's reddish with lines, like scratched lines. A brown back. And it has golden writings on it.
Yeah. Okay. So it's thicker. Yeah.
Yes, a lot thicker.
Right. Does this feel, you know, if you had to guess, looking at the quality of the book, does this feel like it's a better book than the previous one?
It seems more adult. It seems, probably because it's thicker, it seems more mature.
Yeah, more mature, more adult. Yeah.
It seems more interesting. Yes.
Okay. That's fantastic. So the one you just got is more interesting, more adult, more mature, if you can use that word. And I don't want to put words into your mouth, but those sort of things sort of imply to me it might be one of those kind of books that if you were reading it, you might need to probably be a little bit heavy going, so you have to sort of be in a really relaxed, this is the right time,
Yes.
to read it, yeah?
Yeah, you wouldn't start knowing that you didn't have too much time reading it. You would have to start when you've got loads of time to dwell in it.
Yeah.
Otherwise there's no point in opening.
Yeah. It need your full attention.
Yes.
Yeah. Fantastic. It's always good to know that before you open the book. Otherwise it's a right book when you get disturbed.
Yeah, I'm the type that eats the books. If I start, I'll continue the next 4 days reading.
Yeah, if you get disturbed partway through, it's just like you lose the page, you lose that idea now.
I can't even, I dismiss everything else and can't get in contact with me. Usually when I start in thick books.
Right, okay. Well, you know what, this is going to sound really, really, really strange, but I think it'd be a really good idea, if it's okay with you, Nuru, for us to, in a few moments' time, when I click my fingers like this, for you to sort of take that book, which, and you know, the one you've got in your hand now, the one that's very adult, the one that's very mature, the one that's, you know, takes all that self-control to set the time right, now is the time for it, and just sort of throw it. And this is going to be sort of this is all imaginary, so it's just literally imaginary. Throw that in a way that feels right for you, so that it sort of disappears, so you can't actually see where it is in the library anymore. Okay, but you know that it's there. Okay, and you know that because it's there, when that time feels right, when you're ready, right now, you'll be able to just open that book.
Should I throw it or should I open it?
Whichever feels right for you on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3, right now.
I think I'll open it.
Okay, do that. That feel good?
feels like starting the book.
Yeah, like starting the book. Fantastic. On the count of 3, okay, I'm going to clip my fingers. What I'd like you to do on the count of 3, just imagine that image fading away. However, because you're in control of everything you need to be in control of, just take this final opportunity to check that you've started reading that book in your mind's eye. Okay. Final opportunity to confirm to yourself right now that everything's right, everything's good. Does it feel okay?
Feels okay. I haven't read the back of the book, so I don't know what's in the book. So it sort of feels like, well,
A bit of a mystery, a bit exciting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hopefully, because
Yeah.
sometimes when you reach halfway through, you decide that this book is crap.
Well,
But
you know,
you tend to-
the fantastic thing is then you can always get a different book.
Yeah, but then you've wasted half a book, the time of half a book.
But learn a valuable lesson not to read it. Okay, just let that image fade away on the count of 3. 1. Remembering that will remain with you in your subconscious mind. You won't know why exactly that is right for you, but right for you it will be all the same. 2. Fading away safely, securely. 3. Let that image go completely. Fantastic. Just open your eyes when you feel ready. And just take a couple of breaths in. Yeah, tremendous. Okay. One final thing, for now that is. Just like you to close your eyes. It was really high up before, so what I'd like you to do, think of something that in the past, in the past would have really been a good example of the way you used to feel to that high level, yeah? Okay. Just take note of that. Okay. As it once was in the past. On a scale of 0 to 10, with 10 being the worst ever and 0 being no problem, how high up the scale, how high would the number be at the moment, that one you're seeing in your mind?
That I feel good?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel very good.
Very good.
Yes.
Fantastic. Because I just like to let your mind wander free. How good's good?
If 10 is the best.
10 is the best.
So I'll probably feel like an 8.
An 8. Fantastic. You know, the weird thing is sometimes that when we start feeling good, that becomes infectious. Other people start feeling good, and then we feel good about feeling good, and things just sort of carry on like that. It's sort of like a really positive thing, building momentum, a river getting faster. Feeling really good right now, just flowing from head to toe. So in a few moments, as daft as it may seem, everything I've said will remain with you. I'll just click my fingers, you'll be able to open your eyes, and later on we'll check again, but 1, 2, 3, just open your eyes. Okay. How much better do you feel right now compared to what you did? Yeah, we've been here 10 minutes. Thought it was quicker than that actually. Compared to right at the beginning.
Well, I feel a little bit better, or I feel more puzzled.
More positive.
Yeah,
That's
positive
tremendous.
and puzzled.
Positive and puzzled. That's fantastic. Can I actually let you into a secret? I'm not going to tell you why you feel puzzled. I'm just going to let you be puzzled about being puzzled. Because you know, on a level, an unconscious level, everything I've just asked you, everything you've just said, is still there inside your head. And you can puzzle it over as much as you want, but the more you try to work out why you're puzzled about being puzzled, the more you just find that that's sort of...
Opening a new mystery.
Yeah.
Another one.
But in a good way. That's why you feel really good now, yeah? Thank you.
Thank
Give her a round of applause for volunteering. I just need to make another note to myself there. That would be... We're fast approaching lunchtime, but we're also fast approaching having demonstrated just about every NLP technique that actually works in the real world and is of any bloody benefit, because half of them are a bunch of crap. Right. Let me see. What can we do? What can we do? What can we do? Oh yeah. Tremendous. Right, I would like, please, a volunteer who, we're going to do this totally content free, this one, because that's the best way of using it, meaning you don't need to tell me what it is, or anybody for that matter. Ideally something that is either something that has got a definite emotional attachment to it, i.e. something that if you were to think about it now would sort of make you feel or feel sad, or, you know, one of the not so good emotions. Something that you prefer not to think about. You got one?
Yeah.
Is it, without revealing what it is it perchance, if it is, we'll still give it a go, but it won't be a massive change straight away. If it's what I'm thinking it is, then it will take, is it what was being discussed in the bar last night?
And what's that?
I don't want to say it if you want to keep it to yourself.
I don't know what one.
A previous relationship
Yeah.
issue?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we'll give it a go. No, we'll give it a go. I'm just saying to you that we may need to, because this is just for a demonstration purposes, obviously you spend as long as you need with a client one-to-one, but if need be we can carry on in the bar later. You can do it that way if you want. Yeah, alright Jen, will you come? Take a seat. Fantastic. That's not that. I'm not. That's not trying to imply that it's not. You know, it's going to have a fantastic effect right now. But it's just that if you do need a bit more time and attention, we can do that in the bar later, because we've only got limited time before we go for lunch. Okay, what I'd like you to do is just close your eyes down, James, and I'm not going to mention anything that will give away what it is. But you know, I do recall you mentioning this last night. And when you think about that person, yeah, and the issues surrounding that person, on a scale of 0 to 10, yeah, with 10 being, I just want to, whatever that means to you, but you know what I mean, that's the bad end, yeah? Yeah, the bit you don't want to remember. Okay? And 0 is exactly the way you would love it to be. Yeah? 0 would be perfect. How high up at the moment is it? between 9 and 10.
Can you get higher than 10?
You can go higher than 10 if
Okay,
you
I was going
want.
to say 11.
No, that's fine. That's fine. If that's what feels right for you, then that's what is correct. Brilliant. Just because of the context we're in, and the fact this is a training event, I need to say one thing to you. You can open your eyes for a second. I need to say one thing to you before we do this, and that is, I am aware that you have seen some of my DVDs and stuff. I think you probably guessed, Lord, that this weekend is somewhat different than the other events in terms of what we're doing and in terms of, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, I just ask you please to bear that in mind, because this has got nothing to do with any of the other DVDs.
Okay.
Fantastic. Okay, just close your eyes, take a nice deep breath in through your nose, and out through your mouth. In through your nose, and out through your mouth. And just continue breathing deeply and regularly. Just allow yourself, as you know you can, to relax, whatever that means for you. It doesn't matter if you hear my voice loud or if you hear it quite quietly. It doesn't matter what background noises you hear, they just remind you that that's good. Good to smile. It's actually release chemicals that make you feel good. Okay, in a few moments' time, on the count of 3, I am going to lift up your right arm. Okay. It won't bother you, worry you, or concern you, because you know I'm going to do it. And I'd like you to keep your eyes closed at all times unless I say otherwise. In fact, what I'd like you to do, ideally, is just see in your mind's eye now a control panel. And that control panel controls all the little muscles around your eyes. I want you to find the switch that says, relax. And just flick that switch so you can relax even more. I want you to find that switch that turns all the little muscles off and says, muscles sleep. Flick that switch off. And if there's any other switches you need to switch off right now, any other things you need to turn down right now, then you can in a way that feels right for you. Fantastic. We should continue breathing deeply and regularly. Eyes remaining tightly closed. That's wonderful. I'm going to lift your right arm up as I do it. Doesn't bother you, worry, or concern you. Just take it by the wrist. That's wonderful. Tremendous. And each time I just turn your arm in a circle like that, it just helps you sort of to drift down, sink down, drifting down in a way that feels right for you. So you can drift down, sink down, drifting down, sinking down in a way that feels calm, safe, secure, in control. Let's go right there. Tremendous. And I wonder, as you relax more in a way that feels right for you, and I wonder just what you need to change positively. And you may not know yourself. But you know the answer within. Your subconscious does. gradually allow yourself just to relax more. That's fantastic. You can allow yourself to relax more. Realising that in a few moments' time I'm going to ask you, you should keep your eyes closed and relax, to just answer 3 questions. And you'll find as you relax more that when you answer these questions, it's just simple one-word answers. It's dead easy. It feels good. And the first question I'd like to ask your subconscious mind, and you consciously, as you relax more. Quite simply, a yes or no question. Are you ready to make that change right now? Fantastic. Just relax more. With every breath you take, every noise you hear, every word I say, every thought that you think, serving as a sign and a signal. Those changes are already starting to be made. You may not realise how right now those changes have happened, but they do all the same. Make you feel better. There's on 2. The next simple question is, does it feel safe to make that change today? Fantastic. I don't know, as you relax more, whether you want to let those negative emotional links go right now, or whether moments time, you feel much better. But you realise nonetheless that just as the process of life at that time in the past led you over a series of events to feel negative the way it was in the past, when it used to bother you, worry you and concern you. So a series of positive events has helped you make that decision today and that promise to yourself. Now is the time for change. That you feel safe, calm and secure for that change. So thirdly, I'd like to ask you as you relax more, you have so many, as a human being, we have so many ideas, dreams, ambitions, hopes, desires, all those really good things. And sometimes they just come from nowhere to be found. To help us, and it suddenly helps. And experts tell us they come from our subconscious. All these really good things in our subconscious, your subconscious, so much better than they once were before when you used to have those negative things. They were positive things now. you know how many wonderful changes you made during your life, these ideas. So do you feel today you can trust your subconscious mind to start the work you need to make those changes in a way that's right for you, that's positive, so you can notice those differences right now and they get stronger? Is the time right? Fantastic. Just let yourself relax. Take a nice deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth, just a sign and a signal. All that positivity, all that optimism, all that confidence, all that willpower, all that drive within is there. You've got a large inner reservoir of willpower, self-confidence, self-esteem, motivation, positive desire. All those wonderful goals, dreams, ambitions that will just push you in the right direction, away from things as they once were, towards things exactly the way you made them. Positive right now. Fantastic. I'm going to count from 1 to 3. On the count of 3, when it feels right for you, you'll just be able to open your eyes, and you will know within yourself that you started that positive process. 1, whatever time feels right for you. 2, 3. All right, bud.
Yeah.
On a scale of 0 to 10, okay. 10 was the worst it could ever have been. We were at 11 before. 0, no problem whatsoever. I know it's a what, 3? Okay, we're going to leave it at 3 because we've got lunch. But if you want, in the bar tonight, we can bring it down even lower. But 3 is a lot more comfortable, yeah?
Yeah.
You feel good? Yeah? Feel much better, yeah? Fantastic. Thank you, James. Give him a round of applause. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you to everyone that has participated this morning. After lunch, what we are going to do when we convene is break up what we have actually been doing. As in, you've seen what it looks like, which gives you an idea of how you could put it into action, but quite frankly, I mean, although they are what I've done, what you saw, the truth of the matter is, quite often with these things, you've got to improvise as you go along, based on your client's response. Just as if you were in sales, you can't go in with a predetermined idea of what you're going to say, because you've got to respond to what the person says. Same as if it was a stress management seminar. Each different person's going to have different issues. So, you've got to be flexible. Flexibility is the key. You've got to be flexible as a therapist if you're going to go for, quite frankly, very fast treatments. Which there's a positive side to this kind of stuff. Personally, I mean, I'm just showing you this because this stuff I do use, despite what I may have said on other DVD training sets of mine. Confession time again. This stuff I do actually use and it does work very effectively. However, in terms of taking money off clients for one-to-ones, I still stick to the CMT session because it kills the majority of the hour, which is what people expect to have. And because it is very powerful and covers just about everything. But what I do also tend to do, which is something I've never admitted before on any DVDs, what I do tend to do is do one of these sort of things as well as before starting the CMT session. And once you know what the person's problem is, you can choose whichever one of these sort of seems most appropriate. Use it beforehand to get that number down from 10. It doesn't matter how much lower, just as long as you get it lower, because that's then a very quick convincer, which puts them in a state of mind before you even do the CMT session, where the CMT session will be even more successful and positive and powerful than it would have been just on its own. So after lunch we're going to break it down, explain to you, although hopefully based on yesterday's pointing out where things like voice tone and all that came in, it should become pretty easy to break it down this afternoon so that you'll then know about voice tones, embedded commands, subvocal commands, reframing, future pacing, disassociation, anchoring, and all that kind of stuff. So it's just after 1 o'clock. With it being Sunday, the chances are we have got a table, will probably be a bit of a wait.
So what I'm going to do is, I'll cut one of the afternoon breaks a little bit shorter, so we can have a little bit more time for lunch. So can we all be back in this room, ready to start on the dot, please, for 2:15? That just gives the extra 5-6 minutes to allow for the delays. For now, thank you for everyone that took part. Round of applause for everyone.